Hi there, wildlife lovers, and welcome to World of Wildlife, where we explore the incredible creatures and ecosystems that make our planet so special. I'm Sarah, and today we have an exciting journey into the world of sharks, shark nets, and drumlines. But before we dive in, make sure to hit that like button, comment below with any questions or wildlife stories, and don't forget to subscribe so you'll never miss an episode. And while you're at it, check out my social media channels for more wildlife facts, updates, and behind the scenes content. All right, let's get stuck in. All right, well, we're live now. So welcome everybody for coming to World of Wildlife for September. My goodness, where is this year going? It's just crazy. I don't know where it's going. But as you know, I've been away in Borneo, so my head's a little bit still in Borneo brain, I think. If you don't know me, my name is Dr. Sarah Pye. I have a number of different hats that I wear. I teach sustainability at the University of the Sunshine Coast. I run tours to Borneo, which is a recent addition, and I also write books about my friend, Dr. Wong Suti. These are the books that I have written. I started off, the first visit I had to Borneo was in 2012, and I met Dr. Wong Suti there, who is the founder and director of the Bornean Sun Bear Conservation Centre. I was captivated by what he's doing to protect a species and actually pull them back from the brink well, they are endangered, but the brink of extinction. So I wrote Wong's biography, that's called Saving Sun Bears there. I wrote that as my doctorate. And once I'd finished that, I realized that I really needed to engage children and the next generation in some of these important conservation concepts. So I've now written the series of Wildlife Wong children's books, and they're for children 8 to 12. They each include a non-fiction story or real life story about Wong and his adventures with the different species. They also include cool animal facts and experiments that link back to the story. I'm really excited that they've been awarded different things, and yeah, if you haven't got a copy, now would be a good time to have a look at those. We have Taylor here from Vancouver, who is actually one of my young reviewers, and each one of my books actually has a young reviewer that reviews it before it hits the stands and has their picture in the front of the book. So that's what I do. Well, the way this gathering works is that we start with, I'll give you a little bit of an update about what I've been doing this month. Then usually we would pass over to Dr. Wong to tell us what's going on with sun bears in Borneo. Unfortunately, he's unable to join us today, so we won't have that component. Instead, I might pick a little bit on some people here and see if we can talk a little bit about some of the experiences we've had. And then we'll pass over to Bella Graham, who is an animal ecologist. She was also one of my students at the University of the Sunshine Coast, and Bella's going to share with us all about sharks. So that's going to be very cool. All right, so let's start with me. As you just heard, I've just come back from Borneo. I spent 10 days there with 6 adventure travelers, and we traveled through areas like Sepalok to see the orangutans and the Bornean Sun Bear Conservation Centre. We spent time on the river of the Kinabatangan River, which is the longest river in Sabah. And we spent time in Danum Valley Conservation Area, where Wong did most of the research that he's done in sun bear conservation. The trip went so well that I'm now launching 2 next year, and I can't give you the link to actually find out more at this point, but I'm giving you a little bit of a spoiler alert here. So this is my new tour page. I'll be sending you a link to that new tour page as soon as it's live in the next week, so you can have a bit of a heads up. And I would love it if you guys would share that tour page with other people you think might be interested in coming to Borneo. That would be very, very cool. Thank you. Other things I've done this month, Madura, who's here, runs a tour training guide for a workshop for tour guides in Sri Lanka, teaching them how to be more sustainable tour guides. And over the last few years, I've been a guest speaker as part of that program. So that happened this month too. It was a really awesome thing to do. So thank you very much, Madura, for the opportunity to do that again. Would you like to tell anyone a little bit more about this program that you've developed?
Yes, Sarah. Well, this is a program funded by Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade from Australia. And this is my fifth successful project back in Sri Lanka. So all these projects are facilitating selected youth in Sri Lanka to conduct sustainable tour guiding. So that includes wildlife, social aspects, and economic aspects as well. So your support was to develop their knowledge about how to support the wildlife in terms of sustainable tourism. So over the last 5 years, we were doing this, and this year's program was concluded August third week, which you were part of.
Yeah.
So I think all together we have 45 participants.
45, was that this year or was that over all the 5 years?
All
Okay.
together 45. This year was 11 participants.
Yeah, well done for the incredible
Thank
work
you.
you're doing, Madura. It's hopefully improving the tour guiding experience in Sri Lanka. So if anyone here wants to go to Sri Lanka to see wildlife, you hopefully would get a much better product, a much more sustainable product in the tour guiding element. So well done, Madura, for doing that. It's
Thank
an
you. Thank you.
incredible project. The other things I've done this month in Australia, August is book month. It used to be, and it really is book week, but it tends to expand when you're an author in the children's space. So book week is run by the Children's Book Council of Australia, and it's a time when we focus on children's literature, non-fiction and fiction. And most authors like myself spend time in schools engaging kids with the idea of learning through books. So I spent a lot of time in doing workshops together with my puppet sidekick here, that's Pongo, and spent some time in schools in Brisbane, some time in schools in the Sunshine Coast and other areas as well, which is fabulous. Most authors that I know just love Book Week. It's a chance to actually connect with the readers that we have, which is fabulous. At the end of that book week, there was a celebration for authors and librarians. It held in Brisbane, which was fantastic. Jenny, you were there. Would you like to tell us anything about that event?
Try that. It really is. It really is just the end of book week, just celebrating the love that we all have, as you can see on the faces of all those adults in there. And so that contingent all came down from the Sunshine Coast to join in. We have a raffle where we raffle off art that's been donated by illustrators. We listen to different speakers. So we have an author and an illustrator talking. And yeah, lots of fun.
Really good, wasn't it? It was a lovely event. It was a chance for me to meet a lot of librarians who work in schools directly with children, and I love that. It's a really nice thing to do. So yeah, an awesome event. Really good way to connect with.
I think next year it's 70th anniversary of Children's Book Council. No, yeah, the 70th anniversary of sorry, no, I'm getting mixed up. Queensland's 70 this year.
Okay.
Next year, the national body are 80.
Oh, fabulous. Oh.
Right. And so instead of having, and I don't know whether we're going to have an adult session like this or whether we're going to be doing a big children's day on the Saturday, the first Saturday of Book Week. They're trying to get every branch across Australia all having some children's event on the same day at the same time.
Oh, that'd be awesome. All right, I'm in, and I won't be in Borneo this time next year. I promise, Jenny. So I'll put my hand up.
I don't know what they're doing. They haven't gone that far. We have a meeting tonight, actually.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll find out at some point, I'm sure. Awesome. I also had a very interesting time last week.
Oh, can I interrupt for a sec too?
Yeah, please do.
There was one other event that they did this year that they haven't done before, is that SeaWorld had authors down the Gold Coast.
Oh,
and they were doing a lot of promoting for Book Week in SeaWorld.
Oh, fantastic. Okay, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
I hope they do that again. That'd be really great.
Or think of something that could be done on the Sunshine Coast. What's an equivalent up there?
Oh, we've got Sea Life here, so that could work there. Bella, I hope you're in for that one.
And the theme for next year is reading and adventure.
Well, that works well, doesn't it? Definitely, especially somewhere like Sea Life, for sure.
It is. It sounds like a really good event. Let's work on something, shall we? Sounds good. All right. So last week was an interesting conference come workshop with koala people around Southeast Queensland. So we all gathered in Brisbane to do a workshop around the creation of a citizen science app that'll be used for people to be able to find and track koalas in the wild in Southeast Queensland. The concept is that a lot of people don't even know that they have koalas in their neighborhood. So the more that people can be aware that there's koalas, the more that communities are likely to want to protect them and become sort of citizen science hubs for koalas. So this was a really, really fantastic workshop that included all sorts of different koala groups throughout Southeast Queensland that usually are a little bit disparate and usually work in their own little silos. They all got together to figure out how to move forward. One of those people who invited me is Dr. Rahman, and she's the person standing up there just about to speak. She runs the koala detection dogs on the Sunshine Coast, and I've spent time out with her and her dogs finding koalas and finding koala scats in our local area. Now, that experience will make it into my next book, which I'm very excited to tell you about. Oh, we don't want Bella yet. I'm going to launch my next book idea with you next month. I'll tell you a little bit more because at the moment I've just finished writing the first in a series called Curious Kai series. It's going to take my protagonist around Queensland investigating all these different species, and next month I'll tell you a little bit more about the species. I've been dropping hints or so over the last couple of months, but I want to identify those scientists that I will include in this book and talk to you about the follow-up book as well. So we'll save that one for next month. Has anyone got something they'd like to ask or add about any of those elements? How are we going?
I have a question.
Yeah, let's go for it, Irene.
Okay, so I've never been to Australia, but how common is it to see a koala? Like, are they in your backyard, or are they?
Well, no, it's hard to see them because they're hard to find.
Right.
They look like little lumps on trees and they don't move. So it's actually quite hard to find them. But there are places we can take you where you'll have a better chance to see them.
Okay.
Can I tell you something here?
Yeah, go for it, Jenny.
Yeah, so I was a teacher librarian at Amberley State School, which is the big Air Force base near where I live. And it's a known koala habitat in that area. And the school was built with a courtyard in the middle with a big tree right in the middle of the courtyard. And one day the koala came down the tree and walked through the preschool classroom, through one door and out the other door and out the other side. So you can be in the right place at the right time sometimes and see them. Yeah. You
can be, and there are some places we can find them more often than others. Griffith University campus is a pretty good one. There's Mount Gravatt in Brisbane's not a bad place to try and find them. Kate, have you got any other places you'd suggest that would be a good choice? No. Used to have a better chance in Noosa National Park than we do now, unfortunately. Where have you seen them, Elijah?
Stradbroke Island is a good place to see them.
Yeah, Stradbroke's good. And coming to think about that, then there's also Magnetic Island's pretty good.
I was going to say Magnetic. I saw,
Good place. Or on the Great Ocean Road down at Otway Peninsula, that's a good spot as well.
I think it might have been on Kangaroo Island too that I saw koalas in the wild.
And you've seen lots in South Australia, Jazz. Yeah. Okay. So when you're coming, Irene, we'll all help you work your itinerary, won't we?
Okay. Sounds good.
That sounds good. Having said that, if you want to see a kangaroo, I can take you to a kangaroo in 5 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, they're easy
We've
to
got
spot.
kangaroos here.
Sounds good. All right. Kate, would you like to share anything about Borneo, or how are you going there? Have you got anything you want to add that you forgot last month?
No, it was an awesome trip altogether. Just seeing, the conservation, like the sun bears, the orangutans, like the river cruises that we did, and the pygmy elephants. It was amazing. Like, it was so good. The multiple species of like the monkeys, just, yeah, learning about all of the different species and animals about Borneo and, you know, in general was amazing. Obviously I love fungi, so there was a lot of fungi photography for me, which was amazing. And just, yeah, just everything that I guess that they're trying to do conservation wise, yeah, is hard to some point, but it's amazing what
That's an
they
incredible experience we had. Yeah, I'm hoping we can replicate it next year, but it'd be hard to beat because we had
Yeah.
such an awesome crew of people too, didn't we?
It was yeah, it's very special. And yeah, the treetop walks and stuff like that, it was good.
One of the highlights for me, I think I spoke about it briefly last month, was when we were on a just at dusk, and we were on a aerial walkway, and an orangutan and a baby came down a tree close to the walkway, not too far away from us, and started building a nest at our eye level. So we watched her build her entire nest and then pull her baby in and snuggle up in her nest for the night. Wasn't that incredible, Kate?
It was so good. And just, I don't think people really grasp the concept of how powerful they are, and just like ripping the branches down like it's nothing, and just like, yeah.
But we did discover that when we actually got chased by an orangutan.
Yeah, straight off the bat, we're walking down the walkway, and then, you know, Wong's like, run, and it's like, is this a joke? And it's just like, you didn't even have time to think, and it was just like everyone's bolting.
We just turned around and ran. Yeah, so some really interesting experiences we had there, didn't we?
Yeah.
I also loved being woken up every morning in Dannon Valley to the gibbons booming.
The gibbons, yeah.
Oh, yeah. You think that you'll be woken up to a dawn chorus of birds, you know, and you're not, because the gibbons go off before the birds.
Yeah.
Booming thing. Did you get, Irene and Taylor, did you get that when you were in Dannon? Did you hear the booming gibbons?
Yeah, we heard the gibbons in the morning as well, before the birds.
Incredible. Yeah, just
it is incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then to see them and you know, and also see some crazy creatures I didn't even know existed, like colugos and bitterongs, and you know, all sorts of other things, was mind-blowing too. So if you haven't got to Borneo yet, please put it on your list. It's a really, really good thing to do.